it's me, Jinx. I'm back. So a little while ago, I had put out a poll over on my Instagram and Tumblr and asked if anyone would be interested in a sketchbook tour. With the very few responses I got, I decided to do one. I really do enjoy watching people doing sketchbook tours, and I wanted to join in on the fun because it did seem like fun. This video, by the way, is mostly unscripted. I do have a few talking points to go over, but it's just me rambling for the most part. Also, if my mic quality drops when we get to the actual sketchbook tour, I do apologize. I'm not doing my normal setup for recording on my phone and mic. I need my phone to record the sketchbook tour, so I'm not using my mic anymore. But yeah, I will hopefully not have too much difficulty in editing. If I do, editor Jinx will probably kill me. Anyways, let's get into it. Like I said in my little sketchbook tour intro, I'm not going to be going over too many in this book too much in depth. That was gross. Wow, that needs to be cleaned. Anyways, that's gonna be edited out. This sketchbook I had gotten off Amazon, not sponsored, by the way. I want to preference that. But I really found it off TikTok, being called the 660-page sketchbook, or in some cases a journal. And for the most part, I've only used it for like concept art for a series I'm currently developing on with Silly Little Doodles. That series will have a lot of sketches in this sketchbook, but we're not going to go too far into depth with those because I do have a different video planned for that. I will say that this paper isn't the best for like heavy duty stuff and layering, like most high-end materials would be able to do for you. Not high-end, but more better suited for art, I guess. Half the time this sketchbook doesn't even like my own highlighters, which are just random office supplies I had laying around. Just little highlighters I had lying around in my room or in my house. And it doesn't fully like this time, so do that with what you will. The paper is very thin, basically. This is the first page, I guess. This page was a lot thicker than I had realized going forward, so this is just me doodling on the paper, seeing which of my markers still worked, which ones are dried out, which ones are on the verge of death, basically, so I threw those ones out. This one I did use a little bit of crayon. I haven't since used crayon because I don't enjoy using crayons that much, especially since my crayons are actually really old, cheap quality ones. So yeah, still a little doodle, post-practicing, just getting the feel of using more pens instead. I had started to use more pens, inks, and markers instead of normal pencils. I took that inspiration from another YouTuber actually. Their name is Ray or June over on the channel Jin Ninja OWO, and I really liked how they used the highlighters to block out the shapes and then go in with pens and markers for more finer lines and details. This way I had to be a lot more conscious about where I place my pen because I can't erase this. This is pen. But now I have to be a lot more conscious about what I'm doing, and it makes me kind of think about how I want the drawing to go a little bit more than just if I were to sketch it out in a pencil and decide I don't like it, I just erased it. So yeah, this is the paper I started actually going over my markers, seeing what bled through and what they actually look like on paper, because sometimes markers do look a lot different, or a little different in some cases, from how they're on the ink cap and how they are on paper. Like how much do they bleed and how much do they smudge, basically. Did that on the other page because I had a lot more markers than I had originally anticipated. I was waiting with my mom to go pick up some kids from their school one day, and I was just sitting in the car with my mom. At this time I had not watched Lego Monkey Kid. I have since watched it. I love it. Red Sun's my favorite. He's a silly little lad. But yeah, I just drew some of the characters mostly off memory. I couldn't fully remember how they actually looked. And then I started adding little headcanons to them. See right here, my little guy, Jinx. Very upset because I hadn't actually watched the show at this time, but I have since watched it. I do enjoy it. I was watching one of June's video. I believe it was the video called I Accidentally Became a Furry, and this is when I really started to do like silhouettes for shaping and then going in with markers to do the final variation. So I drew a rhino, mostly based off like Disney cartoon rhinos, and then a little mouse character, and then whatever spider mouse robot thing is. I don't know. He was just a funky shape and I liked him. This is a teaser shop concept idea I had, but I ended up not going with it because I didn't like how it was looking fully digitalized. I had really liked this version of it, and I would like to put it on a t-shirt one day, but until I can figure out how I can do it best with like a paper-like texture, it's still in the works, basically. This guy will pop up very often. I've been using this guy mostly as like pose practicing, because I've noticed in my own art that my poses do tend to be kind of stiff, so this is just me messing around with poses and body shapes. This is a concept art. These two already had different concepts on different sketchbooks or just purely on my iPad. So I was just putting them in my sketchbook, this sketchbook at least, so I don't have to go through my phone to go find those pictures I took of their original concepts. And then I started mapping out some notes for myself about these specific characters and notes about their species. This is Shards, this is Percy. Percy is an anglerfish plus eel hybrid. I'm calling them angler eels, and Shards is a troll. For concept sketches, these two I had in a different sketchbook, hence the little cutouts here. But I didn't want to continue bringing that old sketchbook back with me just so I could have their sketches, so I just cut out those two and stuck them in here. Two more characters. I believe these two are part of Shard's family, and these two are part of Percy's. This is Percy's dad. I want to say Shard's older brother, but I don't fully remember. A little silly drawing of Percy because I like him. I like making his body squiggly squabbly. We'll see that quite often in some of my drawings. I just like over-exaggerating some aspects of my characters. More character concepts. This time I decided I'm going to stop coloring in the drawings because I got tired of trying to find the correct colors that I wanted, and I was just getting a bit too lazy to only rework them in my digital one, so yeah, stopped coloring them and just had like the base concepts there. This is just more general info about the series I'm making, some notes about the angler eels and trolls, some sciencey terms, and yeah. Again, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of in-depth analysis with these because I do have a separate video planned for it. More concept, magic classification system, or whatnot for the series. I'm calling the series Lightstone, by the way. There's a lot more information about them on my Tumblr. Just go search up Lightstone on my page and you will find it. A little fact about that is I forgot Lightstone was an actual thing within Pokemon. So if you just search up Lightstone, you're going to get Pokemon. Oops, I didn't think about that when I created it. Oh well. More concepts, but this time with other creatures you can find within their world. Craglix, Puffles. I like Craglix because I can make them squibbly squabbly as well. Puffles are just silly little guys. Plants and animals that you can find within the world. Jelly whales, another creature I created for the world. I like them. They look really, really cool. Fractures, sprites. Fractures, again, squibbly squabbly necks. I can make them do whatever. And sprites are just silly little guys. They're just a little guy. They don't have a brain, but they're adorable, and we love them. Or at least I love them. Gravelux I had based off of badger molds from Avatar: The Last Airbender, but more specifically tailored for like shovel-like tails, I guess. They're not the little mole tails, I guess, is what? No, moles don't have tails, do they? I don't know. They're not the thin tails from the actual little show. They're just shovel-like tails. Shards drawing. Tails have actually shown up on my channel a little bit. They were just a silly little guy I had drawn a while back, and because they're such weird creatures, I thought they would fit pretty well into Lightstone, so I added them into the world. some characters that I've already created, some pre-made OCs like Jinx and her siblings, Ringo and Jester. Those two are in the series, but mostly as a like possible subplot of a different spin-off. I don't know, I'll figure that out later. Some information about certain OCs that I have been trying to get down for a while. Finally got it down. Just more notes. And then a cat. I was doing some concept art for silhouettes and how other people have drawn certain creatures. And Troll Hunters Tales of Arcadia do have like troll creatures. So I decided to go do some silhouette studies of them for a little bit. I really liked Nimura's character design, the spindly lady with the two sickle type weapons. I liked her, so I kind of based my troll series species off her, at least her body type. And I just made some notes about some websites I can find some concept art and character design studies for stuff. Then I did a animal study off anglerfish and eels, how they move, how they function, like how eels would move their tails, and I did a little drawing of anglerfish. I like them. They're creepy. More concept art, but with children-like characters. I'm calling them littles because I don't feel like choosing gender. Family stuff. More concept art. This was mostly just me drawing dinosaur heads from memory, which I don't recommend. Always have a reference. Otherwise you get some weird little guys. And whatever that is. More notes about me, to myself about a certain character I was designing. Gravelux, because I like them. I think right here is when I decided to base them more off a honey badger instead of a generic badger. Younglings, notes for myself. I was watching a YouTube channel by the name of Extinct Zoo, the freakiest dinosaurs known to science. And I was just drawing some of the creatures he had shown. I like them. I like dinosaurs. They're quite fun. Some of these guys will show up again. More character concept art, this time more of like facial expressions and how I want some characters to basically have unique patterns. Each character will have a unique pattern. Some of them will look similar because they're related to each other, but for the most part they will have a different patterning. And I toyed with the idea of, for the angler eels, having different ear shapes to mark different species. I had since dropped that idea because that was just too much work, and I didn't like it. I didn't like that idea. More concept art. This is when I decided to start using some color pencils because I missed the feel of drawing with a pencil, but I didn't want to go get an actual pencil because then I could just erase it. So I settled on color pencils because those are harder to erase in my mind. It worked. I do like them because then I could do some blending and shading and whatnot right here. Try drawing some gems. This one I'm not too happy with because I wasn't too happy with the colors I chose, but this one looks pretty good, I think. And just little guys. As you notice, I cover up some of the stuff I don't like. This one I do like, but I couldn't fit this anywhere else, unfortunately. Sorry, little guy. But this one, I do not like this. I don't like doing realism, especially with the people, because in my opinion, people look weird, just in general. I don't like doing proper proportions. More little guys. We'll see him quite often. I had toyed it with the idea of creating a bat OC for a little bit, so I just wrote down some bat species and made like a general shape of a bat-like character. I think I drew her one time while I was live. That was really about it. This is when I started actually doing more concept of the bat character and named her Mishka, which is apparently bat in Old Swedish / medieval Scandinavian. Don't quote me on that, that's just what Google said. Minus the AI overview, because that can go die in a ditch. She's a spotted bat with large ears. Fun fact about spotted bats, they have a little curled bit of their ear when they're resting, but they inflate with blood when they're actively flying, which I thought was pretty cool. I just drew some wings and whatnot. More little drawings of Mishka. And this guy's coming for you. These two you can't see very well, unfortunately. Even with me in person, I can almost barely see this one. Sorry about that. I will put photos of it if I can, but it's basically just little concept drawings of Mishka. This one, he's kind of like having a panic attack. This one is very bored. Started drawing some props. I decided that I was going to try to draw a compound bow. I don't know how a compound actually works. My brother has one, but I've only seen him shoot it a handful of times. So I quickly dropped that, started drawing some other stuff, and then drew a really cool spear that I like. Pose practice I found off Pinterest. We will see quite a bit of these as well. I like doing pose practicing because then it makes me do silhouettes. And I like doing silhouettes apparently. I did some little thumbnail sketches in the corner sometimes with color pencils, and then I moved on to doing the silhouettes and pens. Ignore the dots. That was because my paint pens had bled through and I didn't realize it. I was using paint pens with this sketch. It's just a little wolf type creature. But I realized far too late that the purple bled all the way through. So that's why there's dots everywhere on the other page. And then I made myself some notes about some of the paint. The silver had a weird blurry kind of bleed, and I didn't like it, so I stopped using them. These, unfortunately, there's more drawings on this page, but you just can't see them. I will put photos of them, but they're just more of this little dog creature thing. I was just drawing dogs on this page, and I liked him. He's adorable. And they're all just little dog. The little guy. So this little guy, fun fact, has now become my sketchbook mascot, basically. So, in my brain, I decided to create a larger little guy form for them. Hence, this sketch is right here. I was getting the ideas of how I want them to look. And this is how this was born. Mostly for like when I want to do more detailed drawings instead of the little silly guy right here. And because this little silly guy looks so much similar to another character, one family, just Ringo, I've mentioned before, and I've shown on the channel once or twice before, but they are also in the Pride Month series that I do over on Instagram or most of my other social medias. Mira is also sometimes included with those, and Mary, the newest member of this family. It's just them as little guys. I kind of messed up with Ringo's little guy mode because Ringo's already a little guy, so he just kind of looks out of place. More little doodles with some light zone characters, random poses and expressions, I guess. And I was kind of bored that day. I was on campus, by the way, most of the time drawing while I was waiting for classes to start. So these were done within, I want to say like an hour. So I was drawing quite a bit. But these pages were done in a very short amount of time, and if there are fellow artists out there, if you draw for like a continuous amount of time with feeling really good about them, you know there's going to be an art crash sooner or later. We will get to that soon. More post practicing, little thumbnails right here. This one, I really like the poses of the people, but I couldn't figure out how to do the second person in the drawing. This one was just fine, the green one, but the pink one was giving me the most trouble for some reason. And I think it was because I'm not used to having two characters or people this close to one another. So it just felt off to me. And again, I do put little notes on the bottom of the page stating which is our pose practice found on Pinterest. This one I believe was originally found off TikTok, but I couldn't find the original. I redrew the pose from the other side with Barry, being a little guy, doing some magic. It was my friend's birthday not too long ago. It was kind of long ago. It was last year, I want to say. I wasn't able to make it to their party, unfortunately, but I was able to give them a gift, and one of their favorite characters was Dog Day from Poppy Playtime. So I made them a little Poppy Playtime sculpture. I don't have a photo of it, because I'm dumb and don't take photos and stuff. But yeah, I made a little Dog Day statue for them. I painted it and sculpted it all by myself. I had my dad help me glue it to a stand, only because I couldn't figure it out. But yeah, I drew Dog Day slightly on model, as much model as I can get it to be. stylized in how I would draw him. There's very little difference between the two more doodles that I originally started out with color pencils and then decided to outline it. The people ones are not my favorite. They look kind of stiff and bland. I don't know why. I really like the key ones. This one became a digital drawing for a challenge I did. This one is just some guy on a diamond, apparently. Not like this one. He's just silly. You've seen these guys before. Mostly as dinosaurs, but these two were my two dinosaur OCs that I decided to turn into Dino Squad OCs, and I needed them to have a human design. Their names are Bruce and Arch. I showed them on my social media with the Pride Month series that I keep doing in June. I want to say they're day 3. So y'all are free to go back and look at that after this video, please. Bruce and Arch concept sketches right here. I realized through drawing Arch's hair that they kind of look like Baggy's bangs, and I liked it, and so I kept it. Bruce and Arch with some little notes about how I want their human forms to look, and some personality traits. Deciding which species for Arch to give him, or I mean them. And originally they were in Archaeopteryx, same as Bruce, but I didn't want them to be matchy-matchy with their dino modes, so I turned my attention to the Yaochi. Correct me if I'm wrong on saying that, I can't remember how to properly pronounce anything, so I'm just doing a little more concepts. The Yaochi right here, and how their dino modes go. Post-practicing, but this time not with Barry. Practicing again with the Pinterest. Bruce and Arch being silly little dads, silhouette drawing. I think this is when I decided that I really liked the Yaochi version, so I kept going and doing Yaochi. Did the reference, this is what I got. I kind of based him off the look of Arch off a frilled pigeon, because I like their look. I think they're cute and fluffy. And then just started doodling the two of them. Bruce is very loud, Arch is not. Arch is actually quite grumpy. I have more concept art, but this time different variations of how the characters would scar. Yeah, mostly how they would scar in other strips. My Slugterra OC, I like them, they're sillies. But I also wasn't happy with their design, so we'll see that pop up in a minute. Random characters. I really fucked up looking raptor because I was bored waiting for class to start, and I just dinosaur high up at the time. Little doodles with Barry and Yarnaby. Box drawings for like torsos and pelvis. Torsos and pelvis in box shapes, so I can figure out that this was originally supposed to be a hand. I liked it better as a foot, apparently. So now it's got a high heel. More little dinosaur doodles. I like dinosaurs. Expressing, but kind of more dynamic and I guess expressive. And this is my Murder Ground OC that I've shown maybe twice. Once with Goretober and the second time with Pride Month. Slugs from Slugterra. Most of these, especially these guys on this page, are fan-made. I love Slugterra. I love the slugs. They're so silly. Started drawing Remy, realized, wow, I don't like Remy's design. Let's redesign them. So that's what I did on this page. I started redesigning them, or at least figuring out what I don't actually like about their design and seeing what I can change. I discovered it's their entire outfit that I don't like. More light stone because I was getting frustrated with Remy's design, so I moved on something else. More little doodles with little guys, expressing and more expressive eyes. I think my style has pretty expressive eyes, but I just kind of like practicing that. So drawing. Again, this was a day where I was really frustrated with college. I was waiting on the phone for almost an hour at this point, waiting just to get something signed so I could actually graduate on time. And I had started my phone call at 12:30. Or at least that's when I started looking at the clock, and it was 12:30 and my class started at 1. So I was not happy. I was just doodling to pass the time so I don't throw my phone. So yeah, that was not a fun phone call. And I finally got on the phone with the person. It's actually a Zoom meeting, but still. we finally got that settled. I was able to graduate on time. Yippee, I have now graduated. But I was not happy with how long I waited on that Zoom meeting. Little cat drawing. I believe I named this cat Shroom. Purely because I had drawn a shroom or a mushroom type patch on their butt and someone's face. I don't know who they're batting at. I want to play with someone of my Star Wars OC, but I don't know. I'm really bad headache for some reason. Probably because I don't drink enough water, but I decided to torture things a little bit. The drawings, because I was just doodling them away. I decided to work on their hair because it bugged me that I couldn't figure out what I wanted to do with it. Mostly light stone. I want to say this is also light stone, but I don't remember who. More little doodles. Mishka, random light stone character, and Moro from Ninjago. Don't question that. I realized that if I let my front pen sit for a little bit, I could just smudge it. So I played around with the smudging, see what I could do with it. More Remy drawings, because I finally started to tackle their outfit and little concepts here and there. And this is when I decided to just try a really big jacket. I like when characters have a really big clothing aspect to them, like really big shoes, really big pants, really big jacket or gloves. I like them. They look silly. So I did a really big jacket. And then I got Remy's design fully finished. I think they're silly. I started drawing them with a character from Slugterra named Twist. This ladies, gents, and everyone else in between is when I got my art. This time, first, these couple pages, this was all done within a very short amount of time. Very, very short amount of time. And I knew it was going to come sooner or later, the art. I wasn't expecting it to be on this character right here. This is Hermes from Epic the Musical. I was trying to draw how I would envision Hermes to look like at this time. Art was not arting at this moment in time. My friend who was on their way to class had said, why don't you draw Hermes with his voice actor's hair, and did a little example. There's a bug in my room. The bug. And doodle a little example. So I kind of went with it on this sketch, but I wasn't too happy with it, so I moved on. See this one as well. Okay. No. I'll take a photo of it. So I moved on to some of the other gods and goddesses of the world. There's my another attempt at Hermes. Here's Athena, Ares, Aphrodite. I want to say this is Apollo, but I don't fully remember. This could be Helios. But I want to say it's Apollo for the time being. I want to say this is Circe, and this is Zeus, and this is Poseidon. More Bruce drawings. This is actually something I put on my teaser shop. This is the Purple Galaxy Gal. You can go buy that shirt. It's very pretty in my opinion. But this is, I was just doodling, coming up with some concepts for that. And these are all mostly concepts of shirts that I wanted to create. Like, let's play cards with the concept, my tummy hurts. But I decided I don't really like any of these, so I moved on to a different thing. So I'm just drawing to draw at this point. These two are actually ones up here, Mars and stars. I haven't drawn them in a really long time, but I love them. They're my little sillies. And Mars loves his girlfriend so much. She is so pretty. Doodles. And then I got a notification that teaser had just launched. And I still had one more class to get through in college campus. So I freaked myself out. So I started doing more concepts of what I wanted for my teaser print, because at this time, I never even set up a shop. I was registered as an artist there, but I still needed to set up an actual page for people to look at. So I freaked myself out, like, oh my god, teaser's live, I don't have anything set up. Sorry, but just doodling to doodle concepts, and I had to take a breather. So I just drew some characters, just calm down for a little bit. So that's what I did here. You will see this pop up. Especially now, this is being uploaded in October. There's a drawing challenge, I want to say, in October for Moro, character from Ninjago. I like Moro. He's silly, stupid. And I also have a Lego Ninjago OC. And as an artist, I remembered I had free will. What if I did OCX canon? Because everyone does OCX canon with Lloyd and the other ninjas. Why can't I have Moro? And I also remember that Nori, my OC, is kind of just stares at people. She's creepy in her own way, and Moro's also creepy in his own way. They're sillies. I like them. Freaked myself out, calmed down with drawing this, and then when I finally got home, I made my account. It was fine. I got a lot of help from other people on the Discord server, and set up some shop stuff. Then I started drawing more of my OC Nori. I haven't drawn her in such a long time, and I realized that I wasn't actually happy with how I drew her. The sketch I had, her very first sketch, I was really happy with. That one was really pretty, but when I finally made her design, I realized I don't like it. So then I decided to redesign her. Sketches of Nori, some with Lifestone characters. Just trying to figure out what I want Nori to actually look like. Started doing some more teaser stuff. These three I really liked. It was going to be very kind of mimicking the Super Saiyan mode from, what's that anime called? I know I'm gonna get hated on in the comments about that, but I truly do not remember what this anime is called at the moment. Was it Dragon Ball? Yes, it was Dragon Ball. It was Dragon Ball. When the characters go Super Saiyan, I was going to do something similar to that with Fairy. Decided I don't like it. I wanted another tummy ache type drawing, or I got the munchies. Decided I didn't really like this one, so I tried doing a stressed one, but it didn't encapsulate stress to me, so I dropped that one as well. This was going to be a couples drawing with Mars and stars, but I wasn't too happy with how I drew it, so I decided to drop it for a little bit. I don't know who this is. I want to say this was supposed to be. I don't know if y'all seen this really stupid meme, but it's like two male characters with like badly drawn yaoi covers, and I thought it was stupidly funny, so I did my take on that, but it just ended up being silly with no context, so I just kept it. And then this is concept for Cherry and my Spider Sona for their teaser for. I didn't like this composition right here. I did like the spider and flower up here, so I kept it. That's also a shirt you can go buy. It is called Flower Glitch. More Little Berry and Lightstone characters with Nori. More posing, some a little more expressive, some with buffer body types because I need to practice body types. More little characters. I don't think these two are Lightstone, they're just there for like different face shapes. I've noticed in my own art that I do end up having similar face shapes to my characters. I was going to do a better rendition of Shard's character reference sheet in my sketchbook, so I started playing around with that. I toyed with the idea of having her markings change as they grew up. Decided I don't want to continuously draw these as the series progresses, so I just stuck with the one I had. Their face is already fairly busy as is, I don't need to add more shapes. To finally get their human design. When I finally settled on a design I liked, I am still playing with Bruce's clothing. Then I drew them interacting with some Dance Squad characters like Fiona and Buzz. I think they're sillies, make them. I also did Percy's more complicated, I guess, character reference sheet in my sketchbook, but he has like a lot less because his design's a lot more finalized. Fun fact, I have never seen the Nutcracker. I think I watched Barbie in the Nutcracker when I was a kid. But when I was doodling and I realized, these guys look a lot like Nutcracker characters. Weird, I've never watched it. But I just went with it, and then this creature formed. I like him, he's really creepy looking. More Galaxy Gal stuff. This is actually a series I have over on Teaser. She is the gold one. I want to say she was going to be the green one, but I don't think I got that far. I have more concept Galaxy Gal stuff on my iPad, but I was going to create more, so I started doodling some more concepts of them. She's not a Galaxy Gal, but I liked the idea, and I wish to continue it, but I don't know what I was trying to go for. More doodles. Barry being a silly little lad again. Nori, they're still trying to figure out her design. And then I did a Pinterest proportion study because I need to practice proportions even though I don't like it. So I took something off Pinterest. The person had like a giant sword and I really liked that. But when I was drawing them, I realized, everything's at a weird angle. So that's why their legs are like ridiculously long. Their torso is too close to the arm, or their arm is too close to the body. Their shoulders weren't at the right angle. And just general notes to myself like, this is weird. But I do have more proportion studies on my iPad a bit. So those I think went a little bit better than me trying to figure it out on the sketchbook for some reason. More little doodles. This was going to be a teaser drawing, but I dropped it because I wasn't too happy with the composition of it. This has since been revived. I believe I also did that one live on Twitch. Bruce and Arch. More characters, but this relates some, but these characters are actually different species. Kind of. This is mid-ocean angler eels. The ones we've seen previously are actually deep ocean. And this troll lives a little bit closer to like surface instead of in caves, so they don't have to have like a bigger bush tail than the other characters. At least that's my logic. More Lightstone characters. Words to live by from Barry. I was having a little bit of a hard day, so I just drew Barry giving some words of affirmation. Or that one. That one was a lot funnier a while ago. Well, I mean, it's still funny to me, but at least not in the current context. More fractors, because I like them. I like moving their necks in squibbly ways. This is a character I've only shown maybe once or twice on my channel. Not officially, anyways. This is the character I'm helping Apex out with for his series that he's doing. He asked me to create a Ice Age character that can turn human. This is what I came up with. Her name's Kita Agrest. I forgot her last name right there. But her headcanon voice to me is Jillian Jacobs, which is also the voice actress of Adam Eve. Little doodles of her prehistoric mode. She is a saber-tooth. I don't remember the specific species off the top of my head. At the moment, I will put it on screen. So yeah, that's her human form. She does still have her markings as a human. They're just like little skin details. And they're only on one side. More Kita drawings, because I love her. More Lightstone drawings. Animal studies off Pinterest. I like drawing the cheetah. This was just a random pose, I guess. More like facial expression practice for me. Bruce, Arch, and Kita, the 3 prehistoric OCs that I had at that time. I like drawing them. They're sillies. More Barry drawings, because look at him. They're sillies. Weapons, because I was doing some prop practice. And this is another character Apex had asked me to help create. Someone in class told me that the dino mode I had created right there looked like Rudy from Ice Age, and you know what? They're right. It did. I had canon this character's voice to be either Jason Ivanovich, I want to say, who voices Rexplode, or Aaron Alexander, who is Antinius from Epic the Musical. I believe I went with Rexplode because I think Rexplode fits this character a little bit more. More of the character. His name's Riker Hawkins. They. This is the character who I did show in my Pride Month series. He's wearing a skirt and he is wearing pink and yellow. Yes, that is a man. So I was drawing some doodles, getting his human mode down, because I already had an idea for his dino mode. So I was just drawing the human mode because I wanted to figure out that first. I really like this eye, and I really like the idea of Riker spending like 30 minutes in the mirror getting his eye makeup done. I don't know why, I thought it'd be funny. but then I needed to come up with a name, so I wrote some names here. Wasn't too happy with them, so I put some more names on a list right here. I really like R names for some reason. I ended up going with Riker because it sounded like Striker, and I thought it'd be a really funny pun. Some little clothing aspects and ideas for Riker. More drawings of Riker being created and being a silly little guy. Sarcoses. They're all idiots and I love them. Riker is in fact a bioweapon that is an Ice Age beast with Kita, and these two, Arch and Bruce, are lab accidents. I love them to bits and pieces. This is when I started to do Riker's Dino mode with old genetics talking right here. Getting the idea of how I want Riker's mode to look. Some stuff that I wanted to include, like genetics. He's a hybrid. Then I need Apex had told me I needed beast from myth, or like a creature to base Riker off of, and he said I could also use movie monsters. I believe his character is based off Godzilla, so I chose Death Jackal, which is from Godzilla X Kong, or the Monsterverse. Some little doodles of Riker. I also needed to come up with like a scientific name for him for his Dino mode, and oh my lord, I give mad respects to scientists coming up with these names, but oh my god, I hated it. I hated doing that so much. I don't give my characters like species names because I can never remember them, or in this case, I can't actually pronounce this. Unfortunately for me, I physically cannot remember how to pronounce this, but I do know it translates to Untamable Crested Slash Runner, because Riker's a very fast runner, and he slashes people. So I was like giving little names here to figure out what I want. I finally landed on that, but oh my lord, this took forever and a half. I'm never doing this again. Do more Riker and more prehistoric OC stuff. Fun fact, Riker is actually older than Apex's character, but she is in fact much taller than him. I like that. I think it's funny. More Riker drawings, because I love them. Kita is here as well, because she's silly. I love her. Lightstone characters. Poses and whatnot. Just kind of doodling at this point. Mindless doodles. This was a teaser challenge, I want to say, for like a spring collection. I didn't end up submitting anything because I didn't have anything at that time, but I do want to turn this into a teaser design. I want to go with this one and just change Zuri's pose in the back, because I'm not too happy with that one actually. But I still think the drawing is cute. I don't remember why I drew this or what I was drawing, but I liked their little dynamic. I thought they were fun and interesting designs. More teaser stuff, but this time more specifically towards the Galaxy Gals. This was supposed to be a homework project, and I don't want to put homework in with my own personal sketchbook anymore. I was forced to this time. My homework was on a different piece of paper, but I had realized my fish at the time had actually gone blind and was just not going to be thriving. So I decided to take him out and humanely euthanize him, but in his last act of hurrah, he took down my homework with him. So thank you. I named the fish Gerald. So I had to quickly do my homework in the sketchbook when I was waiting for class to start actually. So the assignment was to create thumbnails of app icons or web icons for, at least specifically for me, for a company that's aimed towards children and learning. And the company name was Funny Bone. I don't know if they're still an active business. I know they were a real business at one point, but I don't know if they're still active. So I quickly drew that, little concepts here. I don't think I actually went with any of these ones. I think the closest I went with was probably this one. This is also the same day that my teacher was running late for class. So while we were waiting for our teacher to show up, I just started doodling. And the person I was sitting next to said Barry's hair reminded them of a butterfly. So that's where Butterfly Berry came from. Just started doodling, and I was really tired and very very, very tired, so I drew Barry. He was going, man, I really need a nap. They finally got his nap, but man, I wish I had that nap. This is when I finally redesigned Nori. I just drew Nori how I normally at that time drew her, and realized it's an outfit I don't like. Because it just seems so weird and not correct within the show's canon, I guess. So I redesigned them right here. Kind of went with like more traditional within the show's variation, traditional clothing, and stuck with that. Put little bells on her little hairpins. She's still creepy. She still stares into your soul, but she's more dressed of the actual canon, I guess. My little doodles, my Moro and Ninjago headcanons. I really started drawing more like with these types of ears, but I didn't like them, so I was just kind of playing around. So I decided, what if I just add little wings to this man? So I did. I added little wings to them. Dinosaur or just more specific lizard drawings. Most of them are front-facing views because I needed to practice that. More Moro drawings because he's weird and just a little bit pathetic in my mind for some reason. So toying with the idea of giving the trolls a Lightstone like a feral baby stage that the parents had to work through, because from my knowledge, babies are weird creatures. So I decided to run with that idea of what if Shards and their feral baby stage was just a little menace. And unfortunately for her parents, she did not grow out of that menace phase. She just ended up getting magic. Her dad is very tired. Her mom finds it just a little bit funny. I don't remember what's behind this sticky note. You can somewhat see it here, but I just started drawing boxes and Remy from X-Men 97. I put him on the sticky note, put him over top of what's that, and just started drawing on some tape. A deranged person in my sketchbook. I really like how their facial expression looks. I'm not too happy with their eyebrows, but that's just me. I don't draw enough eyebrows to ever be happy with them. Same thing with their nose. I don't think it fits them very well. More doodles, characters in boxes, more pose practicing from Pinterest. On one of my pins, I somehow managed to save a lady with a duck on her stomach, and I really wanted more doodles. I wasn't too certain what was going on here. Pretty quickly. Just pose practicing. Riker being a sassy man. My prehistoric idiots. I love them. Their movies. More Moro. I like Moro. Pose study again. I want to try to find a pose of when the villain lady escapes and she blows a kiss to the hero when she's escaping on a rope from a helicopter. I tried drawing that, but I couldn't figure out how it's called, so I tried doing it from memory. It's not very good, but I got the idea down. This is when I finally drew Jinx in my sketchbook. At this point, it was just really silly little blob drawings of Jinx. First time I actually drew Jinx in the sketchbook, I was quite happy. It took a long time. Cherry and Inks, my spider soda. Funny the dog. This is the dog sketch I had shown earlier and combined him with my Funny Bones class project. I want to say this was a pose study, but more aimed towards body types. I wasn't too happy how I did the chest in the first go, so I covered it up and tried again. Still not fully happy with it, but I think it's better. More doodles of Funny the dog. They're sillies. I like them. More Lightstone drawings. More Lightstone. More Lightstone. There's quite a bit of Lightstone. More Lightstone. But I wanted to figure out, man. Rude. My dog just bursted through my door. So rude. Hold on. My dog is being rude. I wanted to do some character interactions between Percy and Shards. Shards is a yapper. Percy is not much of a yapper, but he's just happy to have someone to talk to. He's begrudgingly listening to whatever Shards is saying. He really hasn't talked to anyone in a while, so he's just kind of happy to talk to someone. More Lightstone, but more character interactions and whatnot. We don't know who these guys are, but I thought they were pretty. Jinx being a silly little dad. Bruce and Art. Riker being very, very sassy man. I love him. Peeta. I really like this one. I think it's stupid, and I want to turn it into a pin. I think it's funny. More pose practicing. The little guys with mushroom hats. Barry. Apex had asked me if I wanted Kita with pigtails, and I'm like, sure, why not? Shit, now I gotta redraw them with pigtails. So I was just kind of doing some concept sketches of pigtails. I really like this look, but I like making characters with like pigtails or like little hair foliage, calyx. Whatever this stupid thing on top is called, I like giving my characters that and having that convey emotions. Like, it would go down when they're sad, straighten up when they're surprised and whatnot. Kind of what Barry does when their little hair does stuff. So I did that with Kita's ears. So I ended up just going with my normal shape right here, but I still really like this design. I thought it was pretty. More Lightstone stuff. I toyed with the idea of like giving them colder climate or winter coats for trolls. I think I just made it into a different species instead. Reef type species. They have no light because, again, they're reef. And they're not the same as angler eels, but they have like the same verdant evolution. Let's go with that, because I don't know how to talk. More Lightstone, but deep sea and mid-ocean. You can actually really see the differences between their designs. I was playing around with the reef species, giving them longer fins and kind of like not lures, but like tendrils almost. I don't know. I don't think I actually completed doing the reef species. They're still in concept. More Lightstone stuff. This is like these two are technical gods of the world. I was trying to figure out this man's design. His name's Kerr. Did I steal that name from a TV show? Yes, but we don't have to talk about that. More of the Kerr drawings, getting his shape figured out. Lightstone. Again, as an artist, I have free will. This means that I can do whatever I want. So I gave Nori and Moro a child. I don't know why, I just thought it'd be funny. I don't know if she's actually canonical or not. She just kind of sometimes pops up. I don't know if the child's technically canon within my little AU within my head, but she's here sometimes. This character was just me drawing. I was trying to practice foreshortening on arms. I think I did a fairly good job at it. I don't know what she is holding, but her dress is pretty. Little goobers on the bottom. More little drawings of animals. I like them. More berry drawings. Lightstone. Nope, sorry. This is more Lightstone. These are more characters. I just don't have any information about them at the moment. Just generic characters I was designing. I don't know what for, but I think they're pretty. So I had watched Demon Slayer within a very short amount of time at this point. Like the first 2 seasons, or first 1.5 seasons, in a very short amount of time. And when I was waiting for class to start, I just drew Iguro because I liked him. I think he's cool. Karabamaru, don't ask me how to pronounce that snake's name. I'm guessing. But down here, I felt a new hyperfixation forming, and I knew what was going to happen. I think this was originally supposed to be a Demon Slayer OC, but I wasn't too happy with her. I think she was supposed to be like a villain type, but I didn't like her enough to keep her. Pinterest post studies. Here she is again. Again, I really liked her design, but I wasn't too happy with her at the moment. I don't know why. More prehistoric ideas, but this time I finally gave the group a name. More little doodles waiting for class to start. Remy, I like them. They're sillies. I actually really like how I drew the pen. I think it's really cool. Dragon character, because I like dragons. This character, when I designed them into sketchbook, they're supposed to be a character I was going to use for like body practicing, like different anatomy. So they're not actually supposed to be wearing clothes, but when I put them in my Pride Month series, I realized I cannot have a naked person online. So I quickly had to come up with a design for them, at least for their outfits. So that's why they have a bodysuit in that drawing. Because I panicked and remembered, oh crap, they're supposed to be naked. This was supposed to be more practice of this character, but I wasn't too happy with how these compositions came out, so I ditched them. This is the start of my descent into Demon Slayer madness. I drew some of the Hashira characters, Rengoku, Shinobu, and Tengen. I think they're cool. And at this time, I had binged 4 seasons within just 4 days. And at this time, I was on the verge of creating an OC. I didn't create it that day because I had my final class had just started. So I put this down and then went home, went to bed. Next day, first class started, ended, and then I had a break. And during that break, he was born. When I hyperfixate on something, it's bad. It's like, I showed this to my friends, but my entire For You page on Instagram is just filled with my hyperfixations at the moment. And it's just compiled of Demon Slayer, Ninjago, and Wednesday. Now, slowly my TikTok's turning into Haunted Hotel. So I created my little guy. He is a star Hashira. He was Tengen's student, at least that's the lore I'm giving them thus far. He is star breathing, which is something he created. I was going to put moon breathing, but I think within the lore that no one knows what moon breathing is was cool, so I kept it as just the one guy knowing it. So I think my guy would know like some different aspects of breathing styles and incorporated it. I also liked the idea of giving him a really big weapon, because the Stone Hashira has a really big impractical weapon, so does Mitsuri. So why not mine? More little poses. I was doing like some line consistency practice, which is why there are little doodles here. More little doodles of the dragon character I was going to do, but I decided I don't really like how these are turning out. Ditched it and just drew a dragon. Squibbly squabbly dragon. This is when I finally gave my star Hashira a name. Excuse me. Their name is Mizuki Yosaki, I want to say. I don't remember. Which translates to beautiful moon and peaceful warrior. Which is a bit ironic. They just hit people with a giant axe. They actually go by he, she, their pronouns are like bi-gender, so that's he, she. And when I was creating like little notes for their background and who they are, my note was they were raised in a family of mostly women and like brothel type situations, and my immediate brain was like, Mama, is that you? Fairy Diaries? Is that you? It's not, but I just thought it was a funny correlation. More little berry doodles. More doodles. Mizuki. These two I wasn't too happy with how they were turning out, so I eventually abandoned them, because this one I thought was cool, but I wasn't too happy with how their facial expression turned out. This one, I don't know what I was trying to do. I think I was trying to do a really cool perspective thing, but it turned out really weird, so I abandoned it. More little doodles, poses, and whatnot. Mizuki being a silly little lad, having some character interaction with Sanmi and Genya. He's telling Sanmi to be nice to Genya. Be nice to your brother. The day that my teacher... I was really mad at my teacher, because my graphic design 2 teacher had changed up our last project before the semester was over. Our original project was supposed to be package design. That was fine. I could have done that very easily. But she decided to change it to a personal website, a resume, with a printable PDF, a portfolio, and LinkedIn. At this time, I had only 2 weeks until I graduated, and I was so close to this thing. She eventually changed it back to the original project, because she herself had said, "Oh, I just want to see how much of this stuff you guys had." None. Most of the students in that class did not have a personal website, because why would why would you teach us how to build a personal website? You're a graphic design 2 teacher. That don't make sense. There's only a handful of students of my own memory who knew how to create a website because they were in my, they also shared the same class I did, which is a web design class. That was not fun. She eventually changed it back, but I had to create a LinkedIn because I wasn't certain if they were still going with this new project. So I just now have a LinkedIn that I don't plan on ever using. To avoid crashing out, I drew Mizuki again. There's more doodles because I was bored and waiting for class to start and trying to distract myself. More doodles, silly little guys. My friend and I had got together, started doodling because I was done with my classes at this time, so I was just doodling, waiting for one of our other friends to show up. So we just started drawing stuff off Pinterest. Turned into this. We were having a whole lot of fun. More little doodles, some of my OCs, and just little guys I found off Pinterest. This is when I wanted to create Mizuki an actual character sheet, because I needed to get one for him. So I was just drawing some doodles of him and some little notes of how or what the accessories are. Sorry, Lord. And yeah, more Lightstone characters, but facial expressions mostly, and just doodles. Mizuki having a bit of a crack out on this page, honestly. More little doodles, just sillies. I did Fist and Remy again because I like them. More slugs because I love Slug Terra. More Slug Terra and Lightstone. More doodles that you can't really see, unfortunately. I'll try to put a photo. Lightstone. I want to say this is angler eel, but I don't remember who. I was having a nap on some rocks. I was toying with the idea of having some of the trolls having more like different animals features. Like this one was supposed to be a deer, but I wasn't too happy with it, so I dropped it. But not before I drew a deer, but felt that was important to point out. I had watched K-pop Demon Hunters, so I drew Derpy the tiger and Susie or Sussy, however you want to pronounce the bird's name, and then I drew Mira, because I think she's pretty. This was a character acting challenge by June from Ninja OWO, where your characters spell out their names and within character. So Jinx, who is modeled after me in personality-wise, we can't spell. I'm just gonna put that out right now. I can't spell to save my life, so neither can Jinx. So they got real confused, and halfway through when they got to the eye, they were second guessing on whether or not they could actually spell. I did it with shards. They're just having fun, having a blast spelling out their name with their body. Percy did it kind of begrudgingly, but because he's so squibbly, he got the letters down pretty quickly. And Mizuki, they can't spell either, but that's kind of like tied back into the era of where he lives, that spelling wasn't really necessary at that point. So he misspelled his name, but he was just having fun being included. For Lightstone characters, I started drawing Huntrix in figure practicing. I think they're fun. During this time, I was just drawing random people. I was waiting for my mom also when I drew this, and I don't know how I managed to do this, but I think I turned this character into an idol OC. I don't know how I managed to do that, but now I have one. I was on call with Apex. He was having a team meeting to get stuff done. I don't think we actually got stuff done from my memory, at least not as much as he had probably hoped to do. But I found this really funny dinosaur called the Irritator Challenger, and it's got a really funny story attached to it on how it's got its name, which I suggest looking up for yourself because I'm going to butcher it. But basically, a group of scientists had bought the skeleton or the skull of the creature secondhand, and the people they bought it from had glued in extra teeth. So it was now the scientist's job to find which teeth are glued in and which teeth actually belong to the skull. And that was an irritating task to begin with. But then they discovered that there's something that's actually wrong with the skull itself, like they elongated it or something. So that added another challenge, so they were not having fun deciphering this dinosaur. But I learned that the lower jaw kind of opens up, kind of like a pelican beak is. I think that's kind of cool and really freaky. I just drew some Lightstone characters, my prehistoric idiots, and Mizuki. Mizuki is very tired. I drew some of the Saja boys, because I love the Saja boys. I drew Mystery Baby. I tried drawing, I believe, romance in his demon form. I wasn't too happy with how it was turning out, so I abandoned it to the light stick. Drew Remy again. My friend had sent me, and another friend of ours, a meme of Rio, and was like, wouldn't it be funny if we had our own bird or Rio type characters? And it was kind of late at night when I read that, and my brain immediately took off and started designing a bird character. And if you're watching this, Josie, I blame you for that. I now have pages of birds, digital sketchbook on my iPad. Thank you. I wrote down some names of birds I like, started drawing bird, human-esque creatures. I kind of just started doodling how I want their hair to look. I got frustrated and dropped it to move on to the iPad. So I don't have any more of the birds in my sketchbook, but I started drawing other stuff, Lightstone stuff. Lightstone is just like a magic rock thing. And I was toying with the idea of giving it a container so it's not just a gem in the middle of the rocks. I wanted it to actually look interesting and cool. So that's where the containers came from. I'm not too happy with how any of these turned out, so I'm still kind of toying with that idea. I drew Persian shards on the bottom here. There he is. Like I said earlier, I had somehow created an idol OC. This is where it festered. This is him out of idol attire, just in a hoodie, in glasses. And I surprised myself, because I'm not usually much of like a K-pop person, but now I just have an idol OC. And I realized that this idol OC is star themed. He's a little sister who is also star themed, but that's not the point. And I have a star Hashira. What if they were related? That's what I did. They are now related. This is Mizuki's descendant. I don't have a name for him just yet. Barry, being a little guy. Drew some random characters, just kind of playing around, seeing what happened. I really like this object right here. I'm going to try to turn it into a 3D model. I just really like how it looks. And then I got really attached to an anime. It's called Gatunakura, I want to say. I don't know how to pronounce it. But I also like the Three Wise Monkey or Three Wise Sages. I don't remember the correct terminology of it. It's see no evil, speak no evil, and hear no evil. So what if I had a character who's mute, who is blind, and is deaf? So that's what I do. Here they are. I don't have names for them either, but I do have like little concepts. More of my idol OC, or the Gatunakura OCs. The vital instruments were inspired by a TikToker by Luna, by the name of Luna on TikTok, with their little slideshow of what potential vital instruments you can create. The blind character has a lantern that can blind people. I want to say she had like a talisman or a written paper thing where she controlled people, but I don't think I got too far with that. I also didn't finish creating the third character, so that's kind of where I stopped. Yeah, I got to 308 pages out of 360. 660. I only marked it up to 330 on my sketchbook because I didn't want to continue numbering it. I got lazy. But yeah, I do plan on making another sketchbook tour because I still have so many pages left. But yeah, that's where I ended up going, which a whole lot of pages now that I'm seeing it all laid out. But yeah, I do plan on continually drawing in this sketchbook, and once it's done, or once I feel like it's good enough to do a sketchbook tour number 2, I will do that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you all enjoyed having a look into my sketchbook and having a look at my silly little guys. I will see you next time, and get back into frame. How did you get out of frame? But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I will see you in the next video, which is hopefully actually this time Wings Club Specialist. I don't know why I keep pushing that back. But yeah, bye!